All right, let's go over it again. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue, the official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show. Brian O'Connor, former Virginia coach, is now the new Hell State baseball coach. So 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, played for the national championship twice and won one. Brian O'Connor is a top 3, worst case top 5 college baseball coach in America. He's now in Starkville as the new coach and bringing 2 assistants and a baseball administrator with him. And they're tweeting out pictures of staying in the loft and of Duty Noble Polk Dement Stadium. So this is it's the best hire in the history of Mississippi State athletics as far as his resume coming in. Now we'll see what happens. You've had guys have enormous amount of success in Polk, Mullen, Schaefer, among others. Richard Williams, Final Four, but this is one hell of a hire. So we thought we'd welcome in former Hell State All-American, Major League Baseball player, World Series champ. He also calls the games and does a good job on the Hell State Baseball Network. Jay Powell joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. Jay, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. Good to be here.
What are you going on? Just a few hours of sleep?
Not many. We got a little bit, but it was definitely an exciting night, and I think a lot of folks are waking up this morning and definitely in an excited mood and excited about seeing what the future holds.
Yeah, well, let's talk. All right, so this program means the world to you. You played there, and then you parlayed that into an MLB career. You follow them, you call games throughout the year. You know, as a former player, when you see that they just lifted an A-list guy, he's number 2 winning percentage the last 25 years in college baseball, only behind Corbin. What does that mean to you, Jay Powell?
Well, I mean, as far as a hire, I mean, none of us know what is going to take place next few years, but I mean, I don't see how you could have really done any better. I mean, Brian is what he's done, and I just think not only that, I think it's a good fit. You know, there's some coaches out there that probably would do a great job, but it's got to be the right fit for the culture, for the university, and I really feel like that Brian is that. I mean, I don't know honestly how you could have done any better than what they did with bringing him in.
All right, so you got the portal that opens today. Let's talk about Ace Reese. He may not have had – I mean, baseball is difficult, as you know. Everybody goes through tough stretches. He may not have had the weekend that he wanted, but he is insanely talented, and you've seen this young man play throughout the season. I'm going to get to McPherson and Charlie Foster, some of the young pitchers that may be retained, because I thought Foster looked really good. He didn't get to throw a lot this year. And I thought McPherson pitched well too. But when you watch Ace Reese, I mean, this guy is a star. What jumps out at you, Jay Powell?
Well, the ability, obviously, the hitting ability is really something special. He's the power. I mean, he's got a chance to be a really a big time player. I mean, you look at the way you build your lineup around, you try to find these guys in the middle of the lineup, and Ace is that guy. And there's only a handful of them probably around college baseball. And I think at this point, he's kind of target number 1. You've got to do whatever you can to hold on to Ace. And, in a perfect world, I think they probably wait a day or two to let the dust settle from this season, making this announcement. But you don't have that luxury with the way college sports are now. And it's, you have to hit the ground running. And we've got some key pieces on that team that you have to hold on to. And now with the portal opening, you got to be very aggressive in it. And I think that's, as soon as the season, there was some talk of the announcement and why not wait a couple of days? I don't think you've got that luxury. I really don't.
You can't. You just can't. And
I mean,
I think you're hitting on something, Jay. Justin Parker and Jay Gautreau did a phenomenal job the last 6 weeks of the season. And they're both uber competitive, and you know both of them. And you're friends with both of them. And I like both of them, and they've been great to us. But like Selman and Brian O'Connor didn't make the rules, I think is what you're saying. And while I understand there could have been a little bit of frustration, also heat of the moment, you just lost a tough game you called it that they were up 2-0 and could have had a chance to win. But as you said, the rules are what they are. None of these guys made them, and you got to do what you got to do to keep the program moving forward. Right, Jay?
Yes. Yep. And I think they realized, and I'll give them credit. I think they realized, Zach, I mean, look, it is what it is. There's people left and right trying to get Ace Reese, and
Sure.
they're trying to get some of these young pitchers, and they were going to go all in. I mean, it's just, it was coming, and you don't have the ability to say, okay, let's let the dust settle, let these guys you just don't have that time. I mean, unfortunately, you've got to do this. And look, like you said, I mean, as far as the hire, this kind of sends a message that, hey, we're not messing around. Like, this is, we're pushing chips in, and that stadium was built for one thing, and it's championship baseball. And by gosh, we're going to bring it back.
Jay Powell, All-American at MSU, a decade plus in MLB, joins us on the Out of Bounds show. What'd you see from Charlie Fall? He didn't get to pitch as much as he wanted to this weekend, but highly recruited and sought after. What did you think about his outing this weekend?
Charlie, I've got Charlie up in the Cape this summer, and Chatham with me, and from day one, those coaches talk about how talented he is. Charlie's plus fastball, the stuff is very good. He's deceptive, hard to pick up. There was talk even early in the year of him maybe being an SEC weekend guy. That's how much they thought of him talent-wise. So the stuff's there, and it's just unfortunate that, we didn't get to see more of him. But you hold on to Charlie. I've said all, Ryan McPherson's one of my favorite guys I've seen as a freshman step on campus. And you've got some real good pieces. Luke Dotson, Evan Thierry's turned into a really good weekend guy. There's some pieces that you need to hold on to, and Charlie's one of them, definitely.
I thought McPherson looked really good, too, over the weekend and battled his tail off in a game. You've been there. In a game with everything on the line in a hostile environment as a freshman. What'd you see yesterday, Jay?
I saw a kid that the environment never gets to him, and even yesterday it didn't. He goes in a tough situation. He tries to make a play at second base. Hey, I did the same thing in the second game of the World Series. I mean, and if he makes that throw, now you got to run it first with no outs, but he just pulled him off the bag a little bit. But the moment is never too big for Ryan, and I've said that all along for him all year. I'm telling you, but to me, he's got a chance to be big time. The stuff is electric, and he's only going to get better. Showed an ability to come back yesterday on short rest, 1 day rest, and throwing 41 pitches, and the stuff didn't drop off. I mean, so I don't know whether you keep him in the back end of the bullpen. When I see him, I start thinking of a young Landon Sims sometimes, or do you kind of put him in the rotation? I mean, that's what they're going to have to figure out next year.
How impressed were you, good grief, with that Florida State starting pitching, Jay? Good.
Well, you talk about Ace struggling a little bit, and a lot of that had to do with Jamie Arnold and Wes Mendez. Look, Jamie Arnold's slider is as good as I've seen. He reminded me, and he's not as talented. Now, don't get me wrong, but his arm slide and the way his slider and his fastball tunneled off each other reminded me of Randy Johnson. Low three quarters, and the ball, it's just, you don't see it. And there's a lot of times I can say, well, you can say, oh, here's slider, whatever. I would have to look from the board. I mean, because you had no clue. You just could not pick that slider up. And he's throwing 96 miles per hour, by the way. And Mendez was good too. Of course, I don't think he's quite as good as what Jamie Arnold was. But if you're going to win big time in that postseason, you got to have a dude at the front end of the station.
Yes.
And Pico kind of stumbled a little bit down the stretch, and we honestly we didn't have it. And I hate admitting this, Florida State was better than we were.
No question.
They were. And our kids fought and battled and put themselves in position to go to a game on Monday. But Florida State is really talented. So, but yeah, that starting pitching, and that's something we got to find. You got to have a dude, man. You got to have somebody you can run out there and match up with anybody in the country if you want to be a serious national championship contender.
No doubt. Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds show, World Series champ with the Marlins. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. He was in Tallahassee over the weekend. Okay, you mentioned Cape Cod. What are you doing up there this summer?
I'm the pitching coach at Chatham, and we've got actually got 4 of our guys. Ace is supposed to be coming. I don't know if USA Baseball is going to take him away. Charlie Foster, Dane Burns, Duke Stone. I'm going to be up there this summer as the pitching coach with Chatham.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did it a few years ago and really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that group, that level of kids, man. They're fun to coach. They're really talented. And it's a kind of a laid back environment, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I'm fortunate to have that opportunity.
What is the stint? Is it 4, 6 weeks? How long is it, Jay?
It's about, well, I'll tell you this, I leave Saturday and I come back. The season ends August 3rd. So it's about 7 weeks.
Hey.
And, that league was founded by Major League Baseball, and they tried to give the highest prospects in college baseball the kind of Major League experience. So they've actually cut the league down. It used to be longer than it is. But it's if you make the playoffs, you're up there for about 2 months.
Dang.
Not a bad place to spend the summer.
No. No humidity or very little. And
if you put a sweatshirt on a July afternoon, it's not too bad.
That's great. And I guess this is also a deal where you've got to manage pitchers and pitches and innings and things like that coming off the season. Yeah,
and like one of the guys coming up with us is Mendez, the kid that pitched last night.
Oh, nice.
But he's going to be at probably 80 innings, and so you got some kids that'll come up halfway through, that'll be there only for half a year. Some of them will be there the whole year. That's what I'm excited about, Charlie and even Dane and Duke. But I say Charlie, because those guys need to pitch, and we'll probably hopefully have those guys. But the main thing is we want to keep them healthy. We want to return them back to their university in a better position than they were, and as a better pitcher, but as a healthy player. So it's a little bit of a juggle roster wise as you go through the season, but it's a lot of fun.
I bet. Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds show. You mentioned Jamie Arnold. How do you feel? Where do you land or stand? Link Jarrett let him go almost 120 pitches the other night. Or this time of year when it's warm and a dude's rolling and warmed up, are you good with that? Would you cut it off at 90 or 100? Where do you stand with that, Jay?
I'm fine with it. I really am. I mean, he threw 100 and whatever it was, and what did he throw? 7 innings or 8, however many it was. I mean, to me, that is like Carson Ligon threw 101 in 4+ or 4 innings or whatever last night. I mean, to me, that's more taxing than going 120 through 7+. And I know that makes not a lot of sense, but those high intensity, high pitch count innings take a lot out of you. And this time of year, I mean, if he's been handled right all year, I got no problem with that. I think that, now if you turn around 2 days later and bring him back, that's maybe getting a little different. But
sure.
No, I don't have a problem with either one of them. I think they handled it fine. I really do.
Yeah. All right. So, and yeah, you make a good point. Carson Ligon, and for what he is, and you may want to expound on this, but for what he is, I thought he really brought it yesterday. You know, hitting 96, 97. He was obviously jacked up. He's faced that team before when he was at Miami. But what you're saying is, I think it was the third inning, Jay. He had like a 35 pitch inning or fourth.
Yeah.
And those are the things that kind of eat you up. But if you're rolling right along like Jamie Arnold, it's just more rhythm and better for you is what you're saying.
That's my opinion. Correct. I mean, you look at, most starts, you'll have 2 innings that I call hump innings, where you got to go to the well to get out of that inning. And sometimes where they fall depends on how long you go in a game. I mean, if that inning, if you hit 5 pitches, but you have to throw 36 to get out of the 6th inning, then you may not be, you know what I'm saying? Whether that 36 comes in the 2nd inning and all of a sudden you've gotten a rhythm, it's just different, the amount of intensity and workload you have at what part it falls during the game. And Carson, I mean, it was almost every inning. I mean, he was, high-digit pitch counts and having to make really kind of high-leverage pitches in situations that, were season-ending.
What did you – I said this earlier. Mississippi State, the program that they need to have a roster like Florida State, both in the field and on the mound. You agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
I felt like there's just needed to out-recruit some of the players that they had. All right, so you've been in youth baseball. You've coached at Jay, prep. I may have missed a spot. When people come up to you, you just mentioned, a 21-year-old who's dealing and throwing 10 to 15 max 20 pitches an inning. You're going to let him roll if he's feeling good, like a Jamie Arnold with Florida State. Yeah. When parents come up to you and they have a very talented kid and they ask you, this kid's 12, 13, 14 years old, what do you tell them as far as how much they should or shouldn't pitch, Jay?
Well, it's, that's where good pitching coaches earn their money, and people that kind of know what they're doing. Because to me, there's not you can't say don't throw over 70 innings a year. Don't throw, I think, you look at it as a basis and say, okay, this 12, we're 12, we want to keep him at say 60 innings for the course of spring and summer, whatever. The thing that kills these kids, and I think what we're missing the boat on big time, is they're chasing velocity at a young age, and that's where we're ruining pitchers. When we got 12-year-olds and 13 and 10, and it's all velocity training, I mean, that's where we're having issues. And the analogy I get is, you go to the Corvette shop, you buy your brand new Corvette, and it is super fine, super talented, can haul butt, but every day we're going to go out there and we're going to redline it. It's not going to last. Like it's going to, something below. That's what these kids are doing. I mean, they go and they train, they redline every bullpen, they go out there. I mean, it's just, it's not built to sustain that, and that's why you're seeing so many kids now getting hurt. And to me, the pitching, the ability to pitch is falling off. And, they can say what they want and this and that, but all you got to do is watch it. The command of the fastball, the command of the secondary pitches, a lot of this it's not being taught anymore. And that's why it's all velocity. It's all hike it up, throw it as hard as you can, and let's try to beat them with velocity. And what really blows me away is you get kids throwing 96, 97 miles per hour, and, we recruit these car-throwing kids, and then they get on campus sometimes, and it's all everywhere across the country, and then we don't use the fastball, and then we just get so heavy with breaking balls, and I think, honestly, toward the end of Fox's career at State, that's kind of what got him. It got so breaking ball heavy, and you look through the sequences, and it was pretty easy to figure out what pitch is coming. And I think that's because we get scared of contact as a pitcher coach and as a pitcher, and it just snowballs from there.
I had a MLB guy say that it's almost, I want to piggyback off this real quick. I've only got a couple of minutes, but it's like they get them up into college and they nibble too much around the plate.
It's unbelievable. You know, hitting a baseball is hard to do. It's really hard to do. And you watch the way a lot of guys pitch. And look, there's some really talented guys that aluminum bat is super hot, and you can make some pitches and it goes out of the park. But it's just when you pitch, we were always taught as pitchers, you pitch to contact. You want contact, but you want your contact. I want you to hit the ball the way I want you to hit it. You want, ground balls, you want easy out. I mean, they pitch away from contact, and you see it. But we got guys throwing the 9-hitter, 3-0 sliders that's hitting 210. There's a reason why number 9 is. I mean, it's stuff that I just scratch my head. And I'm not. Look, we do it sometimes at state, but this is widespread. I'm not bashing Justin or any of these guys. I mean,
sure.
It's and as a coach, you fall in those sometimes where you get contact, you just get scared of contact, because if you get knocked around a little bit, you're like, take gum, I don't want to get up another one here. And it's tough. It's not easy, but I think sometimes we get scared of contact, and that's why you see nibble, 105 pitches through 5 innings.
It drives me crazy, Jay.
Yeah, it drives everybody crazy.
Damn. All right. Hey, man, I hope you have a great summer in the Cape, and thanks so much for the quick turnaround and jumping on today. We appreciate you.
Anytime.
Jay Powell on the Out of Bounds Show, All-American at Mississippi State and World Series champ for the Marlins, Jackson Prep, Jackson Prep, and now recently pitching coach. Now he's going up to Cape Cod, and he just mentioned all the guys that are going up there. That sounds pretty good for the summer, doesn't it? Pull over at night. Man. Hey, the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN lunch today is brought to you by Martin's in Livingston. They're open in an hour. 1 hour. Martin's in Livingston. Delicious blue plates, sandwiches, burgers, po' boys, and wings with a cool atmosphere. Don't forget, Martin's Market is also open. Milk, cold beer, and breakfast biscuits to go and all that kind of good stuff. Show is also brought to you by Madison Ridgeland Academy. They have a few slots open in the high school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. You want to call today, 601-856-4455, and take a tour of the campus of Madison Ridgeland Academy. We'll see you tomorrow.